all over the world. Today, we'll be talking about percentages. I repeat, today we'll be looking at percentages. We said percentages are useful when comparing proportion of different amounts. Percent. The summary of this means percent means out of 100. A percentage can be written as a fraction with a denominator of 100. In summary, what we are trying to say is the word percentage is a combination of two words, percent, meaning out of 100, also known as every 100, or better still, out of 100. And again, a percentage can be written as a fraction with a denominator of 100. In other words, 20% means 20 out of 100. This is a symbol for percentage. This is the symbol. Please take notes. For instance, if you have something like this, 5%, it means 5 out of 100. In other words, this symbol means out of every 100. So 5% is good. So you can see 50% means 50 out of 100, 75% means 75 out of 100, and 100% means 100 out of 100. This, I would like my learners or viewers to go through this. So imagine let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 100, and we are asked to find 20% out of 100. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is another 10, which is 20. It's colored 20 boxes, or 20 boxes are shaded out of 100. So that means 20 out of 100. Likewise, this 50, the shaded boxes here are 50, 50 out of 100. The shaded boxes here are 75 out of 100, and all these two are 100. So let's move on to the other slide and check if there are class activities. Yeah, this is an example. The first example we have here is, let's see, this is an example. It says at the driving school, 63% of students pass the driving test. The rest fail. What percentage of students fail the test? So we always assume that the entire percentage at the driving school is 100. If 63% pass, we are asked to find the percentage of those that fail. So that will be 100% minus 63 will give us 37%. Therefore, 37% of the students fail the driving test. Okay, so let's see this one again. Another example said each week, Carla spends 25% of her income on rent, 37% on food, and 11 over 100 on entertainment. She saves the rest. What percentage of her income does Carla save? So what we needed to do, you can see this is in percentage form. This is also in percentage form. In other words, this means percentage, but they deliberately put it in a fraction form, just to confuse you. So what you just needed to do is to put this back to the percentage the way it is. Remember, 11 out of 100 is the same thing as 11%. So once you add all Carla's expenses to this, because the question says what percentage of our income does Carla save? So this is the entire cost or percentage for our bills. So we need to calculate what percentage of our income does. So you take that out of 100% because we assume our income to be 100%, and all this are the expenses she made on bills. So you need to take it out from 100%, and 27% is the part she saves. That's the percentage of her income she saves. So these are the likely examples. Then let's move on to the class activities and see how it goes. So we look at this, we need to look at one question, and I will encourage my other learners to have a go at the other one so that they will appreciate the topic or appreciate how to solve questions on percentages. So I will have a go at number one, and I will encourage my learners and viewers to have a go on the second one. So let's read the first question. The first question says, Claire took a maths test. She got 32 questions. You can see she got 32 questions wrong and didn't answer a further 7 questions. She got the rest right. They were 100 questions in total. She needed 60% or more to pass the test. Did Claire pass the test? Explain your answer. So first thing first, to solve question number one, we are told she got 32 questions wrong. So that will be 32 questions wrong. And she did not answer a further 7 questions. So plus 7, meaning she got the 7 questions wrong because she did not answer it. So she must have failed the 7 questions. So if you add all questions that she didn't get correctly, so that will be 32 plus 7 will give us 39 questions. And we're told that there were 100 questions in total. So that will be 100 minus 39 questions she didn't get correctly. So she must have gotten 61. 61 out of 100 is also known as 61%. So let's go back to the last part of the question. It said she needed 60% or more to pass the test. Declare pass the test. Explain your reason. So what we just needed to state is yes, Claire passed the test, as she got passed, as she got 61%. You can see this is a little bit tricky question, so we need to learn to pay attention to details so that we get the questions correctly and reduce mistakes as much as possible. Then let's look at the other part of the questions. As stated earlier, I will attempt some and allow my learners or viewers have a go at some. So let's look at questions 1. We look at questions 2 and Question 3. For the sake of time, I will encourage my viewers or learners to have a go at the other questions. So please have a go at these other 4 questions. If there are mistakes, once you've had the go, you can now move to the answer slide to cross-check your answers. So if there are mistakes, please you correct yourself and you do that honestly. And if you still don't understand any of the questions, please drop a comment on my comment section and I'll be happy to help. I'll be happy to assist. So because of space, let me clean this. Let me clean each part of here, okay? So let's look at the first question. Say a primary school has 212 students. 50% are boys. 50% are boys. 50% are boys. 50% are boys. How many of the students are boys? Teach questions. There are so many ways to solve percentage questions. Feel I would use this. I will use this format here to solve mine. So remember, maths, there is no particular way of doing things. Any way that you feel more easier, please do that as long as your answer is correct and you show your steps. Because in exam situations, the markers are humans. They want to see the steps you've done. So I will encourage you, please show your step-by-step working out. And at the end of the day, you get your full marks. Remember, in the course of marking, we are always guided by marking schemes. Please take note. So in this case, we say 50% of the students are boys. How many of the students are boys? So that will be 50 out of 100 times the total number of students in the school, which is 212 over 1. So I can break this down. This 50-year one, 50 in 100 is 2. So how many 2's can we get in 212? So 2-year one, 2 in 112 is 106. So this is the number of boys in the school is 106. We can cross check. So we can cross check because we are told that 50% of the students are boys. So let's see. Let's add this again. This is 6 plus 6 is 12. Carry 1, you add this. See? Straightforward. That's the 50% of 212 is 106. Therefore, we are correct. So the number of boys in the school is 106. Now let's look at the next questions. We are told there are 800 fans at the rugby match between Ahmad and Malone. 30% of the fans support Malone. How many fans support Malone? 30%. In other words, if you like, we can say 10% of 800. 10% of 800 is 80. Another 10% of 800 is 80. Another 10% of 800 is 80. Then we add the total. Let's add. So if we add this up, this is 0, 8 plus 6, 16 plus 8, 24. Therefore, 240 fans supports Malone. So this is another way of solving percentage questions. Or better still, we can look at this way. We can solve it this way. So 30% supports. So that will be 30 out of 100 times 800 over 1. So 0 will cancel out this. You are left with 30 times 8 is 240. You can see I've shown you two other ways of solving this. It's either you use this format, this way, or this. Anyone you feel is much easier, please go with it as long as the answer is correct. Then let's look at question number 3. We say Anna is paid £280. She spends 10% on rent, 25% on food and bills and saves the rest. 3A. How much does Anna spend on rent? 30% on rent. You can see 30% on rent. So we need to find 30% of 280. So to find the 30%, so let's write it here. 30%, 30% on rent times 280. This cancel out this, 0 cancel out this. So that will be 3 times 28. 3 times 28. That's 3 times 28. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 carry 2. 3 times 2, 6 plus 2, 8. So she spends, how much does she spend on rent? So that's 84. She spends 84 on rent. How much does Anna spend on food and bills? Food and bills. So let's look at this, 25% on food and bills and saves the rest, 25%. So we need to find 25%, 25% of 280. 25% of 280, that's 25 over 100 times 280. Okay, 0 can cancel out 0. 5 here, 5, 5 here, 2. How many 2's can we get in 28? That's 2 here, 1. 2 in 28 should be 14. So 14 times 5. 14 times 5 will be, remember this is in pounds, we are dealing in money. 14 times 5, that's 5 times 4 is 20. 0 carry 2. 5 times 1, 5 plus 2, 7. So this 70. Anna spent £70 on food and bills. The last one says, how much does Anna save? How much does Anna save? So what you just needed to do is to add 84 plus 70. Whatever you get, you take it away from 280. That is the much easier way So that will be 84 plus 70. Total is 4. 8 plus 7 is 15. And you take it away from 280. So that's 280 minus 154. 0 minus 4 is not possible. You need to borrow 1 from 8. You add it here. So 10 minus 4 is 6. Remember 7. 7 minus 5 is 2. So minus 1 is 1. So Anna saves 126 pounds. Anna says 126 pounds. So you can, if there is time, you can always cross check and see. You can add 84 pounds plus 70 plus 126. You should arrive at Anna's total income, which is 280. So let's see. This plus this should be 154. So 154 plus 126 will give us 280. So it's perfect. We are correct. So we've completed questions 1, questions 2, question 3. Now we'll move on to the answer slide and cross-check our answers. So once you've done that, cross-check our answer. Yeah, we got this correct. We got this correct. We got this correct and this correct. So at this juncture, we've come to the concluding part of this percentage. So I will encourage my learners to please have a go. Then come here to cross-check their answers and please do that honestly. Remember, math is all about practice. If there are any challenges or concerns, please drop a note on my comment section and I'll be more than glad to help. Thank you very much. This is your regular host Valentine and bye. See you in the next session. Bye.